Hello, everyone. So let's start today with the committed ICI, right? In the last class, we talked about stress, and today we're going to do the ICI on stress. We'll try to use the vocabulary, but we're going to look at ICI band 6, band 5 and 6. And after this band 5 and 6, we'll look at a band 7 and 8. Let's start now with band 5 and 6. I'm going to share my screen, obviously, okay? And show you the ESI here. Well, as you can see, this is the band 5 and 6 version. I'm going to go through the essay here. Let's look at the first part, the introduction, okay? Nowadays, stress is a common problem for many people. Some people think it can help them to do things faster, but too much stress is not good. It can help people, it can make people tired and unhappy. This introduction here is an extremely poor introduction. There's no paraphrasing. It repeats words from the question. Stress, problem. There's no plan to be discussed. You have to clearly show the overall plan that will be discussed in the paragraphs. And besides that, in this section, there's no presentation of the ICI. It doesn't present it, and it's a very general and very simple introduction. So let's continue. First paragraph, right? Firstly, stress can help people be more productive. For example, when a person has a deadline, they might feel nervous and finish the work faster. However, if stress continues for too long, it can make people sick and depressed. They may lose concentration and motivation. I highlighted it here in color to show that you need to have the tell. He's not really using the tell, as you can see. The opening sentence is it's clear, but it's very simple. The example comes too early. There could have been an explanation. It doesn't explain why stress helps. It should explain why stress helps. Okay? Using the example too early, as I said, the word people is repeated several times, but you don't lose points for that. The contrast, however, is out of place. It breaks the tell structure. It breaks the tell here, which should be in sequence. Understood? It's highlighted like this to show the tell, but it doesn't, it follows the tell, properly speaking. Much less here. Look here. On the other hand, stress is very harmful when people cannot control it. As you can see, the grammar is correct. Everything looks nice, but it's a band 5 because it's very poor. For instance, someone who studies too much without rest can have anxiety and sleep problems. As a result, they do not perform well, and their grades go down. Go down is already a phrasal verb, and it can't be used in the say. So this say the structure is even a bit better, but the grammar and vocabulary are still simple. It only uses simple sentences. There's a lack of syntactic variety. When I say this, I mean it's missing a complex sentence which you haven't learned yet, but you will. The connector, as a result, is correct, but it sounds mechanical. It's missing a final sentence that connects back to the main idea. In other words, it's missing the link that connects to the main idea. So this paragraph, it follows Theo, but it's missing. To move away from the script, okay? Let's continue. Conclusion. In conclusion, stress can be useful in small amounts, but if you don't manage it, it becomes dangerous. That's why it's important to find a balance to live a healthy life. This conclusion here, right here in the first, this part here, it's combining the two because the sequence is as follows. The first, there are 3 steps, right? The first step is everything you wrote above in the essay in one sentence without repetitions. The second is the main points, also avoiding repetitions, okay? And the last would be the personal opinion, which doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. There should be a personally I believe statement. So truly, looking at this essay, evaluating this essay, it rewrites the main idea, but it's very general. It doesn't summarize the main points of the paragraphs. There's a lack of personal opinion. There's no personally I believe, blah, blah, blah. So the essay is very poor, okay? And that's it then. We'll stop here for now. Now let's move on to the Band 7, Band 8 essay, which will be in the next video. Anyway, this video here, this essay here is a Band 5.5, okay? Because it uses very simple and repetitive vocabulary, basic grammatical structures, few complex sentences, ideas that are hard to understand and not well developed, a weak conclusion, and no personal opinion. This lowers the task response score, which is one of the IELTS criteria. Okay. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon. Band 7 and 8.